Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I want to talk about the one thing I will never not van life without ever again. But first, I want to ask you to like and subscribe to this video. I'm on my push for my first 1,000 subscribers, and when I get there, I'm going to give away this limited edition Sergeant branded life straw. So like and subscribe because it might save your life one day. With that being said, I do want to talk about the thing that I will never van life without ever again. This thing is on the top of my mind because I just got back from vacation at a sacred hot spring, one that you could not come along on the trip for because I was operating at a different plane of existence and I could not make a video. But what I have been making my videos on, if you've been following along, my ultimate adventure road trip where I take this 1998 lifted 4x4 GMC Safari van and I take it all over BC, Alberta on my ultimate road trip. It's adventurous, it's awesome. I've been making videos. At my most recent video at Mount Robson Provincial Park, I had a friend come through the night and visit me, and that was a mouse. So that leads me to where I'm at today, and the thing I would never not take with me on a van life adventure is mouse traps. There's no reason not to take them. They're cheap, they're easy to acquire, and if you have mice, there's nothing you want more than that mouse to be gone. It totally encompasses your mind. You can't not think about it. You can't sleep. You hear them rustling. You hear the sounds everywhere. Whether it's a raindrop hitting your van, that's a mouse. Whether it's some leaves blowing in the wind, that's a mouse. They're always out to get you. And if you just carry some simple mouse traps, absolute lifesaver. And I mean lifesaver. Mice are gross. I assume they have diseases, so this is a threat to your existence. Buy mouse traps. My first experience with mice in this van, and honestly I have no idea how they're getting in, but they're getting in and it must be easy. Anyways, I was canoeing Revelstoke Lake, which I'm actually going to have a great video come out on this channel of my trip in Revelstoke Lake, but this isn't about that. This is my van being parked at the Revelstoke Lake boat launch for 7 days. I had a mouse come in and absolutely attack my food in my storage compartment, but I had no idea because mice had come in and exited, and I didn't notice until I was hanging out in Revelstoke after. Anyways, cleared out the food, no big deal. I moved on. Which leads me to eventually to get to Mount Robson Provincial Park, where I'm camping after a week-long backpacking trip of the Tonkin Valley. Again, I got a video, but I'm in Mount Robson, and I wake up and my garbage that was on my front seat had all mice had been chewed. My toilet paper had been chewed. I had some food in here that had been chewed, and actually I had a lot more food that had been chewed, and that mouse did not leave. That mouse lived with me for multiple days, at least 2 nights, maybe 3 nights. That mouse lived in my van, in my food box where I had food and toilet paper. So at night I was laying in bed and I could hear him rustling around chewing, and it absolutely ruined my night for a couple nights. And I was in Mount Robson Provincial Park, which is about an hour outside of Jasper. And I could not get mouse traps until I went to Jasper. So that's what I did. Obviously, I had to go to Jasper to get mouse traps. But it's like, if you carry them with you, you will always have them. And if you have a mouse, it's there. You never know how far away you are from the ability to go to a hardware store to buy mouse traps. So just carry them with you, because it is awful. Actually, I will talk about my mouse trap soon. This is the better mouse trap. This is where I caught my first mouse. I bought 2 of these in Jasper at Home Hardware. And then I bought, let's pop over here. I've since bought these, and they are from Amazon. They're like $17 for a 6-pack. And I think they've actually been highly effective. I've caught quite a few mice since this point in those mouse traps, but just mouse traps, the little wooden ones, the original style, they're kind of dangerous. So buy a better mouse trap or the ones from Amazon, but just carry mouse trap with you. So that was my first experience at Mount Robson. Go to Jasper, have it in there. First night, I bait it with peanut butter, and boom, I caught a mouse. But it's like all night, all day when I was in Jasper, trying to enjoy myself, seeing the town, going out on the town, trying to convince a girl to come back to my van with me. And it's like, there may or may not be a mouse in a trap or in my van or in a trap waiting for me. It's like the whole thing, it's in my mind, and it just like totally throws you off your game. Literal game. And it just, carry mouse traps. But from there, I caught my first mouse in Jasper. And then I went for about another week and a half with no more mice. But then I went to Sandin, which is an abandoned ghost town. And I was talking to the lady that was running the bistro there, the 14th Street Bistro, I believe. And they made good breakfast for me. But I was talking to her, and she was like, oh, yeah, we got mice, yada, yada, yada. Like, they're around, they're in vehicles. Some other guys in their vans got them. I'm like, I'm catching a mouse in the van tonight. So I set my traps that night. I did not catch a mouse in my van, but there was undoubtedly mice in my van because my pot I used for dinner had mouse poo fresh in the morning. So there was mice there. And then you look around Sandin, it's got like all these artifacts and all these buses. It's just like, of course there's mice here. So have mice trap with you. From Sandin, I ended up in the cusp. I went to another hot springs, which that night I was talking to the camp guy. I bought firewood off of him, and I was like, oh, you got any bears here? He's like, nah. I'm like, you got any mice here? He's like, you could just see his face change. And I knew I was in for something that night. And lo and behold, I caught two mice in my traps that night. So that's been at least 4 different times now that I know I've had mice in my van. And that one, it had to be at least 2 mice. And I caught 2. So it's like, was there more than 2? Who knows? But that was there. And, I'm just thinking about my mice. And then that was that for my summer vacation. 4 mice incidents that I know of in my van, which is too many. So carry mice traps. But then since then, I went to this hot spring that I was talking about earlier, and I had an amazing time, except the first night, I literally did not sleep. Because right before bed, we saw mice scurrying all over the campsite, like all over the campsite. It was not good. And I knew they were coming in my van. And sure as shit, I caught 8 mice in my van that weekend. I caught 5 mice the first day in 8 traps. I had 8 traps because I had 2 existing traps from my vacation and 6 new ones that I bought from Amazon. So I had 8 traps, set them all, and I caught 5 mice the first night. And the second night I caught 3 mice. And it's like, I can't imagine not having mouse traps for that trip. That trip would have been an absolute nightmare. I honestly do not think I could have slept in my van without mice traps. I could not do it. There's no way. Like, you would have heard him scurrying around. Just give me the heebie-jeebies just talking about it. So, yeah, anyways, I don't really know. That's pretty much this video. I just wanted to talk about mice. I want to tell a story of how I got mice. And I just want to tell you to never travel without mouse traps in a van. It's craziness. So just do it. And with that being said, peace.